These are 5 books that are better when you listen to them on audio. My credentials are that I've listened to over 115 audiobooks just this year. So here are my top 5 recommendations of books that you should make sure you're listening to. The first is, of course, The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Anytime anyone asks for an audiobook recommendation, this is my go-to. It's such a special listening experience since it has a full cast and they even have really cool voice actors like Johnny Weir, who's an ice skating legend. But the story includes little excerpts and snippets and interviews, transcripts, all of that kind of stuff. It really feels like you're reading a documentary. So just listening to that makes it feel like an even more immersive experience. One of my favorite books of last year was Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufi Thorpe. And Elle Fanning reads the audiobook for this one. And if you didn't know, Elle Fanning is actually starring in the adaptation from A24 that's going on Apple TV most likely next year. So not only is the book very funny with these messy characters that just like portrays really well on audio, but you'll also get a sneak peek of Elle's acting for this character before you see it on screens. Another go-to recommendation is a memoir that's read by the author on audiobook. And my favorite from this year is Be Ready When the Luck Happens by Ina Garten. This was actually one of the first books that I read this year, and what a way to kick off 2025. Like, I just was listening to Ina speaking directly into my soul. It's very quick, it's heartfelt, inspiring, so it's the perfect book to do on audio. When I heard that Sutton Foster was reading the audiobook of Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, I knew I had to listen to it. Stephanie writes really whimsical worlds, and I was a little nervous to see how it was going to translate on audio. I tend to struggle with fantasy since I get lost in some of the worlds and it doesn't develop as well for me, but I can assure you this one was really good. Sutton does such an amazing job, and since this one is a little bit more fantasy light, it was very easy to follow and just fall into the story. Now, for the fifth one, I was really struggling to narrow it down. I had a laundry list of books that I absolutely loved on audio, and then I realized they shared a common denominator: Julia Whalen. You've most likely heard of her before, but she is truly one of the best audiobook narrators, and she's done so many of my favorite books. She's done Emily Henry, Taylor Jenkins Reid, V.E. Schwab. She did These Summer Storms by Sarah MacLean, which I just read and loved. So many amazing books and even better audios, and I truly believe it's because of Julia. So just like go to Google, type in audiobooks read by Julia Whalen, and you can add any of those to your TBR. One area that I didn't include on here was romance, and romance is actually the top genre that I listen to on audiobook. Probably like 80% of the books that I'm listening to are romance.